It's long time passed for these laws to be repealed. This was not an absolute breakthrough for what we would consider now progressive thought. The logic of the report was that homosexuality is an incurable disease with fairly few implications for anybody except the person who suffers from it. And so the idea that they used a lot of analogies to disability, said we're basically being incredibly hard on people who have no choice but to be who they are. And all of the myths and rhetoric about public harm are totally overblown. And so 14 of the 15 of us say as soon as possible we should repeal all of these laws. So it kept not happening, it kept not happening. By 1967, the Sexual Offenses Act was passed 10 years later with some conditional rephrasing of as long as homosexual acts were consensual, they were among people over 21, and they were in private, which had a whole bunch of other asterisks. If there were more than 2 people involved in a given act, that no longer counts as private, for example. But that was passed in 1967 in England and Wales. After 10 years of increasing campaigns and some pretty vigorous attempts from some parliamentarians to get those laws overturned, but it took about 10 years. And when it did happen in 1967, one of the earls in the House of Lords wrote to Dirk Bogarde and said, I didn't even see your movie when it was in theaters, but I've caught it on television, as have a lot of my friends, and I think you deserve a lot of the credit for what we actually were just able to accomplish.